Welcome to the Talk Sox podcast. I'm Alex, and as always, I'm here with Maddie. How are you?
Doing well. Spring training has sprung, but the Winter Olympics are also in full swing. So I'm trying to juggle both of those at once on
Yeah,
top of everything else. But I mean, it's a fun time for sports.
it is. Yeah, I was talking to my wife going into Sunday, and I was like, how crazy is it that it's really like the first big day of the Olympics? That's when the first ice skating stuff happened
Mhm.
was Super Bowl Sunday, and then like the Super Bowl was also happening, and you turn around and 3 days later, pitchers and catchers are reporting, and full team has to be there this weekend. Just what a crazy time to be a fan of just sports in America right now. I'm sure that our New England listeners are not thrilled with the Seahawks at the moment. I had no skin in the game. I'm
Mhm.
not much of a football person in general.
Yeah, me
Um,
neither.
I used to be.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
somebody who never played football, like I was obsessed with it for a long time. Um, I'll I'll catch some hell for this. I'm a Ravens fan if you make me pick a team. It's not the
Hmm.
popular answer in New England.
Why the Ravens?
I always thought that if I played football, I would be an inside linebacker, and I love the
Okay.
way that Ray Lewis approached the game.
Okay.
Um, Potential murdering aside,
Oh
um,
God.
but
Yeah, well, there's that. I
but
mean,
yeah,
you can respect separate the man from his
yeah,
game.
yeah, the art from the artist.
Yeah.
Um, And so if I do watch football, it's really just if the Ravens are on prime time or about the only time I watch, and the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
Um, and I mainly watch the Super Bowl for an excuse to make obscene amounts of barbecue. Which, although this year I just did wings, I didn't do anything too crazy.
I mean, you can't go wrong with wings. What
Yeah.
type of sauce rub did you use?
So we are big fans of the Meat Church seasoning
Okay.
line out of Texas. They're out of Dallas.
Mhm.
He actually, Matt Chapman is the guy who runs it. He is partnered with the Cowboys,
Hmm.
and barbecues for them quite a bit. And he's pretty big in the Texas barbecue scene, and his company's called Meat Church, and they have a bunch of different stuff. And my favorite that I like to put on wings is Holy Voodoo. It's like a dried jalapeno.
Okay.
It's good. And then I'm a buffalo sauce with a little bit of lemon pepper dry rub on top.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
I respect that.
I'm a big wing guy. If I would eat wings at least twice a week if that my wife was cool with it, but she's not. So
Wait, drums or the flats?
I'm a whole wing person, so I am not
Okay.
picky. Yeah,
Okay.
you just trim off the tips and then smoke the rest of the wing, and then pull them apart. But if you make me pick one because of my facial hair, it's flats because I can pull the bones out and not have to gnaw on them like I do the drumettes.
Okay.
But so you're a wing person as well then?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not a big Buffalo fan.
Okay.
I like a garlic parm. Old Bay. For a dry rub.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We've got a bottle of garlic parm upstairs. I didn't break it out for the Super Bowl. Just went. Kinder's seasoning has like a really good buffalo sauce that I like quite a bit if I don't make my own.
Hmm.
Um, an Old Bay wing, that's a sleeper. That's a very sleeper wing. I like that.
Yeah. I mean, all wings are messy, but I feel like a dry rub kind of isn't. But
Yeah,
yeah. And yeah,
yeah.
people don't think to put Old Bay on chicken, but I think the Old Bay goes on a lot of things. I love it with popcorn.
Hmm. That's one of my favorite ways to eat popcorn. I don't do it a lot. I don't eat a lot of popcorn.
Mhm.
Um, I've got weird teeth, I guess. Like I don't know. Like I love popcorn, but it hurts my teeth, and so I don't eat it a lot. But Old Bay on it is really good. I think there's not much that Old Bay is not good on. Like I said, I'm a I'm a Northeast man living in Missouri. Eh,
Corn, grilled corn too with butter,
oh,
so good.
absolutely. Yes,
Like, that's such a
absolutely.
summer thing.
Yeah. Who knew when you tune into this episode of Talk Socks that you would get wing and Old Bay talk for the first 5 minutes? Um, but hey, we're passionate about what we're passionate about: wings, Old Bay, and baseball. Um, I kind of thought that there would probably be no other news between our interview with Chris Cotillo and this episode. And lo and behold, 2 days ago? It's Wednesday, so on Monday morning, as I was reading Fahrenheit 451 with my English class, the Red Sox traded for Caleb Durbin. It came out of nowhere, as far as I'm concerned. I never saw anything connecting the Red Sox to Caleb Durbin until when I went back into Twitter on my prep. I've got notifications turned on for Passan, and then I keep through the off season. I keep them on for Milliken too.
Yeah.
He had tweeted that the Red Sox were interested in Caleb Durbin, and then literally 26 minutes later is when the trade broke.
Huh. Spear had something, like he posted an article that morning, like, I think before 8. So that said, oh, the Red Sox are interested in Caleb Durbin. And then lo and behold, yeah, it happened. So people were on it.
On its face, and we talked about this in our writers Slack channel. I like the trade, and let me pull up the pieces. Going out, the Red Sox sent David Hamilton, who's not a fan favorite of anybody really, and he's headed back to Milwaukee, the team that drafted him. Shane Drohan, who the only thing that he's done of note in Major League Baseball was he was selected by the White Sox in the 23 Rule 5 draft and was then returned to the Red Sox. And the central piece of the Rafael Devers trade, Kyle Harrison, is headed to Milwaukee. I thought that your piece on the trade tree, the Devers trade tree, was great. I think literally an hour and a half after it went up is when this trade went through. Which was interesting. I like this deal for the Red Sox. Attached with Caleb Durbin, we've got Andrew Monasterio and Anthony Siegler. Both are utility type players. Siegler can catch. He can play third and first. And then we've got Monasterio, who can play really all over the infield. This, to me, makes the IKF signing make a whole lot more sense. I think that the name, obviously the name that had been really targeted since Ketel Marte was rumored to have been taken off the board, and then Mike Hazen, the GM of the Diamondbacks, came out and said it, was Isaac Paredes. Definitely a little more pop in the bat with Paredes, but I like the trade for Durbin. There's a lot of comparisons to Dustin Pedroia that I think solely exist because Durbin is short and white and will likely play second. Much.
Oh my God. You could say that about second baseman in the league if we want to play the identity politics card.
I mean, if you compare them on Fangraphs, on BREF, on whatever, there's not a lot of comparison outside of those three things. Now, Durbin did say in his first media availability today, on Wednesday, that he has always looked up to Dustin Pedroia, which I love. Petey is the laser show for a reason. He is such a respected person in Boston. I think that should he ever decide to manage professionally and not his kids' little league teams, which is what he's doing right now, I think that he makes a ton of sense for at least a coaching role in Boston. And he kind of does that anyway throughout the spring, and then travels occasionally with the team. A little background about Durbin. Last year, he came in third in NL Rookie of the Year. It's very rare that you ever see somebody who finished that high in the Rookie of the Year race get flipped like this. He made 131 starts at third, 10 starts at second, and 3 starts at short. I think we're kind of operating under the assumption that he will play second, with Marcelo Myers slotting in at third. Although Craig Breslow and Cora were kind of bullish on that today. They said they haven't made any decisions. He hit 256 last season with a 334 OBP, a 387 slug, a 105 WRC plus, a 2.6 FWAR with 11 home runs. I had a quick piece about him right after the trade. His pull air percentage is about a 1 percentage point higher than Wilson Contreras.
Okay.
Durbin is at about a 20.6, I think. I don't have it in front of me. Contreras was at like a 19.3. So the selling point for Contreras was that his swing plays in Fenway, which means that Durbin should play even more. If you look at his spray chart, his home spray chart laid over Fenway Park, it added, I think, double-digit home runs to his total.
Okay.
He's quick.
Yeah.
I really like that a lot. In 25, he had 18 stolen bases.
Okay.
He played most of the season. I forgot that he walked the Red Sox off in that June series. At Family First Park or whatever it's called. Yeah.
Not R.I.P. Miller Park, but
yeah.
No. Oh, that series was awful, man.
I think that's when we all declared the season was dead.
If the Red Sox sell now or sell at the trade deadline, like all those pieces came out. That's funny, but yeah, I like him. Lots of control. Brandon said in the Slack channel he's a typical Brewers player, athletic, good plate discipline. Really doesn't have power, but I think the Red Sox, the ex driveline folks could help him potentially unlock that.
Yeah, he does not strike out, and 9.9 K percentage last season. He doesn't walk a ton either. It was a 5.9. When he was in the Yankees, because he was part of the Devin Williams trade. That's how he wound up in Milwaukee. When he in their AAA, in the Yankees AAA system in 24, he was working a 12.5% walk rate. In 24, in their AA, it was a 20% walk rate, but his K rate has been consistently at 10, as flat 10 or a 9.9, pretty much across the board. Some interesting discrepancies here. In AAA last year for Milwaukee, it was an 8.6 strikeout percentage, so even lower than what he had at the majors. I'm very curious to see what he looks like once he starts taking swings in spring training. I think there is some room for regression. He's young. You'd say the same thing about Anthony. Same thing about Narvaez. We've been kind of dealing with it with Rafaela for the past 2 seasons. Casas, if he could stay healthy, I don't think really was going through a season-long regression. He just kind of starts slow. But I think that this is the sneaky, really good ad for the Red Sox, and they didn't give up a lot.
Yeah. He also went to Washington University in St. Louis while earning a degree in economics. Yeah. So smart guy.
WashU is a tough school to get into. It's a very tough school.
Yeah. So good for him.
Okay. I might have to get that jersey. Well, they gave him number 2. I have a problem with that.
It's just a number at the end of the day.
It's Bogey's number.
Yeah.
But Justin Turner wore it too. So before that, it was Ellsbury.
So Jacoby. But it's just a number.
I'll probably get his jersey. The WashU thing sold me. I like WashU. It's a beautiful campus. I wanted to go there when I was coming out of high school, and I was not smart enough. So they required an SAT score. And I, nope. It was ACT and nothing for me. But he see like Brandon said, Brandon Glick, he's one of our editors. He posts great work on Talk Sox. He is a typical Brew Crew guy. From the Milwaukee standpoint, I don't understand this trade. They traded effectively their entire third base depth to the Red Sox in one deal to get Kyle Harrison, who has been okay at the major league level. Shane Drohan, who I doubt will see major league time unless they can really fix something with him. And David Hamilton, who's a glove first speedy base runner.
Well, you mentioned the Devin Williams thing, which made me think about the Mets he ended up signing there this offseason. Just,
Yes.
well, the Mets traded for Freddie Peralta, and if you're familiar with the prospect, Jet Williams was part of that package, and
Yep.
he's supposed to be a high-ranked prospect, so I think they're pretty high on him. They also have a Joey Ortiz too, but yeah,
he came
that
over
was
in
also
the Corbin Burns deal. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was also my initial thought. Like, it's a little random, but I mean, the Brewers, if you want to say, fixed Quinn Priester. I've said this before on here. I don't think he would have thrived with the Red Sox just because of their infield defense being inconsistent. But I think the Brewers think they can, turn Kyle Harrison into, I don't know, Sandy Koufax reincarnated.
More power to them.
Yeah, I mean, they probably will. So good for them.
They've got a great pitching factory there in Milwaukee. And I wrote that it really seemed like the Red Sox fleeced the Brewers, but when it comes to the Brewers, it's hard to say that they get fleeced. And I mean, just look at the Priester deal. I'm with you. I don't think that Priester would have reached that same level of success here in Boston. Kyle Harrison, at best, profiled as the 10th or 11th best starter in the organization right now. He was likely going to spend the entire season in AAA. Getting him to Milwaukee probably gets him as part of a major league rotation as early as opening day. He's young. He's controllable. They'll trade him when he's got a season or two left, like they do with everybody that comes to Milwaukee. And he'll probably pitch well for him, and I hope that he does. He seems like a good kid. He will forever be tarnished in Boston just because of how he got here. It's not his fault. He was traded for Rafael Devers. And to get the Giants to take on the full scope of that deal, they sent Jordan Hicks this way, who was also traded in between the last recording and this, which if you go back and listen to that, Cotillo is spot on with what they will do to get rid of him. He attached Sandlin to Masataka Yoshida instead of Jordan Hicks, but I think that does show. I mean, we're probably talking totally or early to get a team to bite on Yoshida, which explains why he's still on the roster. Maybe Franklin Arias, but you're not trading Franklin Arias unless you're trading for a new shortstop.
I don't disagree there. I mean, yeah, Jordan Hicks is now part of the White Sox. He can use those new bidets in the clubhouse, so good for him. I mean, I hope.
Do you think they'll spell his name right?
Oh my, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Have you also seen it came out like a couple of hours ago, their GM keeps saying that Luis Angel Acuna is a switch hitter, and he's not. He said it like awkward. 4 or 5 times. Like it's not a slip. It's not like their GM thinks that he is a switch hitter, and he has never been a switch hitter. So I don't know. Maybe he thought they traded for somebody else from the Mets in the Robert package, but he.
I forgot about that.
Can you imagine if Craig Breslow called one of the Red Sox a switch hitter that's not a switch hitter 4 times in press conferences?
What? Okay. I don't mean to diss on the White Sox, but
it's so easy though.
I mean,
sometimes the low-hanging fruit is the best fruit.
That's true. Yeah, it's such a small market. Are people like? I mean, people like engaged baseball fans will react on Twitter and
Yeah,
social media, but do like actual people in Chicago care, or are they more concerned with the Bears and the Cubs and the Bulls?
the Bulls are awful.
Or
It as somebody who grew up a Bulls fan who converted to a Celtics fan years ago, um, I the this trade deadline is maybe the most confusing thing I've ever seen an NBA franchise do. Um, the Bulls are just a poorly run, poorly put together team. They have 10 guards. Nobody on that team is taller than 6'8". Um, it
mm,
they're going to have to stack guards on shoulders and put them in a trench coat to have a center.
oh
Um,
no, oh no.
it that Utah it is if you want to see a horribly managed franchise, go look at the Chicago Bulls right now. Um, and that's coming. Like I said, I grew up a Bulls fan. I grew up in the Jordan era. And then when I saw once Derrick Rose got hurt, I was done. I was done with the Bulls. And I became a Celtics fan. But um, I have some friends that are from Chicago, and they are diehard White Sox fans, which I didn't know those existed. And they say that there's like a clear line in the city that it's almost like it's a street that when you cross the north end of the street, you are in Cubs territory. On the south side of the street, you are 100% in White Sox territory. And the people who are on the White Sox side of the city are diehard Sox fans. And they are sort of protesting without officially call it a protest, just the way the team has been handled the last few seasons. Obviously, they're making some noise now. I think that's I don't want to say it's in bad faith, but I kind of loop them in on the same thing as what the Pirates are doing right now, and the A's and the Angels. They're giving out these contracts with the lockout coming to be like, see, we are paying people. We're not trying to tank. We're not, to set that CBT threshold to establish a case for a floor. But this is not the podcast for CBT talk. We are in the throes of baseball season. The CBT talk can wait until the end of October after the Red Sox win the World Series.
That's a bold take.
Yeah, and it's one that PECOTA disagrees with. Terribly so.
Yeah, for the second year in a row, PECOTA just hates the Red Sox. They have them in
I hate PECOTA. How about that?
Yeah, just the Yankees are first. I mean, any of these projections is pretty whether you're looking at Fangraphs, baseball prospectus, they're pretty high on the Yankees. Then the Blue Jays, Baltimore, the Red Sox, and then Tampa Bay.
I don't like it. My thing with things like PECOTA, and just kind of across the board is, it's all simulation, and they say that it's there's no human thing that goes into it, or at least that's what Zips. PECOTA might have some human element to it. I don't remember off the top of my head, but it always gets the number of games played wrong for everybody. And so I think it's useful in its own right, but I think that the people who take it as gospel, and there are people like that out there, I feel that they are kind of cutting off their nose to spite their face. You're not getting the full picture of what the team could be. National media, which I know is national media, is so much higher on the Red Sox than Red Sox and New England media. There are most places have the Red Sox vying for the NL or the AL East title. And I don't think that's crazy, and PECOTA does.
Yeah, I mean, I take every projection system with a grain of salt. They lack a certain human element, but At the same time, I know Breslow was this was brought up during the press conference this morning, where Zips, am I looking at Zips? Yeah, Zips said nobody on the team would have bat above 20 home runs. Do you agree with that?
I think that it's a possibility. A full healthy season from Roman, I think he's at least 25. Willier, for all intents and purposes, seems to have the training wheels taken off. If he can stay healthy, which he hasn't done in a big league season yet, if he can stay healthy, I think Willier is a 30 home run guy. I think Roman's probably a 30 home run guy. Your Trevor Story could do it. If once again he stays healthy. I think Wilson Contreras could do. I think he'll be between 20 and 25. That swing just plays so well at Fenway. And to me, if Contreras is going to be between 20 and 25, Durbin is probably going to be between 20 and 25. I think realistically, you've got 6 guys that can hit 20, 4 guys that could hit 25, and 2 guys that could go above 30 the way the roster is currently constructed. In my opinion, they are still missing Pop in the lineup. And I think that the answer to that question is in-house. I think that a trade for somebody like a Ketel Marte or an Isaac Paredes would have been great, would have added some pop. I agree with not signing Eugenio Suarez. Yeah, we're looking at 50, maybe 60 homers at Fenway. But he's going to strike out over like 25% of the time. It's feast or famine. I don't have a problem with him going back to the Great American Ballpark, where the Red Sox will open the season in just a few weeks. He apparently has some like familial ties there. His daughters were born there. They love Cincinnati, so it makes sense. I don't have a problem on the Red Sox missing out on him. What I am ecstatic for is the return of Tristan Casas. Because I think that's the pop the lineup needs.
Yeah. He's chilling in Fort Myers. Very interesting.
A shiesty and no shirt.
He also looks leaner.
Yeah.
I think I read somewhere he's been down there for like most of the off season, so he's been eating healthy, working out. So that should help with just staying healthy for the whole season.
I still don't think we're going to see him at any point during the month of March. Middle of April, that's probably the earliest we'll see him. But there are Masataka Yoshida is still on the roster. Jarren Duran is still on the roster. Those are 2 guys who also will occupy the DH spot. Craig has already said, or AC or Craig has already said that Wilson Contreras will rotate into the DH spot. Roman Anthony will rotate into the DH spot. I want Tristan Casas as an everyday player with the Boston Red Sox, and I think that he is tailor-made to be the DH for the Boston Red Sox, and to be able to spell Contreras at first, occasionally. Let Contreras, have an off day of just hitting, a full off day where you do get Duran or Roman into the DH role. I think that we are close to a Yoshida DFA at this point. I don't really see any way forward unless you're going to attach a Franklin Arias to him, and you're doing that just to get somebody to eat a salary, and that's not worth it.
I wonder if he's playing in the World Baseball Classic. You mentioned that in your breakdown of Red Sox players in the tournament.
He was a late add too.
Yeah, and I had thought he wouldn't just because of his injury and a preloaded team, but I wonder if he's going to try to build up his trade value by doing well in the tournament. Wasn't he the MVP for Japan in 2023? Yeah. So there, if he he always has been a slow starter, but if that keeps him, or if that propels him to a good start, maybe they could try to trade him
Be-
early in the
but,
season.
yeah.
And then around that time too, Casas should be coming back. So maybe that would align.
That makes sense. The Duran issue is still an issue. And at this, it seems that the team does not want to trade Wilyer Abreu, which I agree with. It seems that if an outfielder is traded, it will be Jarren Duran at some point. You have to think they're kind of hoping for him to come out guns blazing after playing in the WBC, because they're treating him like the 7-win player he was in 24, or they're valuing him like the 7-win player he was in 24, even though he wasn't a 7-win player in 25. And if he comes out like gangbusters, he's probably pretty easy to flip at the deadline for a piece that you need due to pitcher injury. If Marcelo gets hurt, if Durbin gets hurt, if Rafaela gets hurt, like there's so many what ifs that, like sure, Duran could slot into center field, but I would rather trade him for somebody else at that point that has probably more productivity.
Yeah.
I don't get how we got through 2 winners without trading Jarren Duran. I don't understand it.
My thing about Duran is I watch the Red Sox as much as I can during the season, and I'm looking at his Fangraphs page now. It said he was a 3.9 WAR player last year, and I'm thinking, I don't see that. Just
that's not what the eye test will tell you.
Yeah, that the eye test. I mean, I would have guessed maybe 2.5. Yeah, not almost 4. So
he's a very productive player, and I understand why the team is valuing him as high as they do. And I'm going to go continue my episodic Jarren Duran needs to be traded rant. From a roster construction standpoint, it makes no sense that he's still on this roster. You have to wonder if the Red Sox had waited literally 2 days, if they could have called the Diamondbacks about an hour ago after news broke that Corbin Carroll broke his hamate bone and is out for at least the start of the season. Like, hey, how about Brian Bayo and Jarren Duran for Ketel Marte? That looks a whole lot more interesting now that you don't have your all-star right fielder.
Hold up. Would you throw Marcelo Meyer in there?
No.
Huh. Okay.
So, that's come out over the last week that Breslow was willing to offer Arias and one of Tolley and Early for Ketel Marte, and that Hazen countered at either one of Tolley or Early and Meyer, and Craig shut it down. And I agree with Craig. I think that this is going to sound really weird to say, and it's probably not going to make a lot of sense to most people. I think that Roman Anthony will be the most valuable player that comes out of the Red Sox farm system in years. He is a cornerstone. He is a central roster piece. You could make the case that Marcelo Meyer is more important to the Red Sox because he plays a more important position naturally. Shortstop is probably the most important defensive position on the field. Mm-hmm. If Marcelo can become just a league average hitter and play Gold Glove defense at shortstop, he is incredibly valuable. And he's closer to that than not. We've seen the defense. The bat just has to come around against major league pitching. Whereas with Franklin Arias, we don't know what that's going to look like against major league pitching. It should be great, but you could say should be about a lot of people. Blake Swihart was going to be a phenomenal yearly all-star catcher in the system. Bobby Dahlbeck was viewed as the first baseman of the future. And look how those panned out. And the same thing could happen to Marcelo. That it's entirely possible. But a number 4 overall pick out of a prep school in California that churns out major league talent, I just don't think it's going to. And I think that he is a very valuable piece and should be a part of this team for years, along with Roman. If Marcelo can have half the season Roman had last year in his 70-ish games, I think you'll see Marcelo with an extension this year.
Huh. Well, Craig was kind of raving about how Marcelo gained muscle. So
He's
yeah,
bulked up quite a bit.
yeah, he looks pretty sturdy
Like
now.
between like 15 and 20 pounds. Like it's pretty impressive. I'm curious to see if that taps into some power that he had throughout his high school career and in, low A and double A ball that he never got a chance to showcase in Worcester because he never played for the Woo Sox.
I wonder if that was also an issue with him with just adjusting to major league pitching.
Well, I guess he played for a while last season. When he was called up, he never played, and then he played until Bregman got hurt. But, we saw the power in spring training last year.
Mm-hmm.
The conversation was that nobody understood why Christian Campbell made the roster when Marcelo was hitting as well as he was, and Campbell had an abysmal spring training that kind of preempted his abysmal season. But talking about the outfield stuff, like Christian Campbell is the left fielder in Worcester now.
Well, Christian Campbell had that 2-week span.
Yeah, really where he was rookie of the month in April or whatever, and then it just fell so fast off a cliff.
Yeah.
Christian Campbell is now an everyday outfielder who is getting one-on-one work at second base, but then they traded for Durbin to likely play second base. I think that Breslow is an effective Pobo. I think that he's very good at what he does. I almost wish that he was the president of the pitching operations and we had a different president of the offensive operations.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I don't disagree with you. Just look at the pitching. I mean,
just A+ all the way around.
Yeah, well, the bullpen,
outside of Dustin May.
Yeah, bullpen maybe could use one more guy, but I mean, again, you have a lot of guys in AAA who could come up and depth. But yeah, you look at the rest of the roster and you're like, what the heck? Mickey Gasper is a designated hitter. Yeah, that guy, God.
The Gas Man returns to Boston.
He shaved his mustache.
Just negative aura at this point.
Yeah. And I don't. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's Mickey Gasper again, listed under first to second. And first and second base. And
has he lost his catcher designation?
Yeah, yes, he has.
Oh wow, okay.
Just 1, 2, 3.
Connor Wong hasn't, so.
Man, I actually.
You are a Connor Wong truther.
I think he could convert to second base easily.
I don't disagree with you. He's built like a second baseman.
Exactly. Yeah, he's not meant to.
He's short and white and checks all the boxes.
Hey, I think he's part Korean.
I think so, yes.
Yeah.
White adjacent.
White, yeah, we're white adjacent. Or Asians in general. But or Happy Lunar New Year.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I forgot about that.
Just too many infielders, and none of them. Davey had mentioned this in his Fangraphs breakdown of the.
Shout out, Davey.
Yeah, shout out, Davey, of the Durbin trade. But they have a bunch of middle of the road infielders when they just could sign one good one. I mean, they're the Red Sox.
Yeah. I think that's the most infuriating part of all of this, and I understand to a point why the fan base didn't like the trade and is slowly coming around to it. Because at this point last year, not quite at this point, in 4 days from now last year, you had both Rafael Devers and Alex Bregman on the roster. And then you had just Alex Bregman on the roster, and now you don't have Alex Bregman on the roster. And Isaac Paredes would have slotted into third base really nicely, but comes with his own warts and red flags. Marcelo Meyer proved last year that he can play probably Gold Glove caliber defense at third base as a rookie. But the offense isn't there yet. and now you've traded for the future of third base in Milwaukee to play second, even though he played second in the minors. It just, at the beginning of the offseason, it was we need a power middle of the order bat. What we've heard is the offer to Alonso wasn't competitive with what the Orioles gave, and from the sound of it, it sounds like the Orioles are really just bidding against themselves anyway.
Mhm.
I think had they not gone crazy, there's a decent chance Pete Alonso would be in Boston right now. They didn't make an offer to Kyle Schwarber, as far as we know.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything.
They wouldn't give Bregman the no trade clause, which I think is crazy after watching what they did to Mookie and Devers. Like, obviously, if you're an all-star player, which Alex Bregman is, like, yeah, I want a no trade clause so that way I can make sure my family is established here. And then Isaac Paredes made sense. Ketel Marte was really the perfect fit. Slot in at second. Let Meyer play third. He's a phenomenal hitter, a gold glove caliber second baseman. Comes with some maybe off the field clubhouse issues, depending on who you ask in Arizona. But some of that seems to be really overblown too. Like, he got heckled for his mother dying, and then his house was broken into. Like, I understand why he wasn't all smiles and happiness all the time. Like,
I feel like Latin American players are held to a higher standard than.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, and they're scrutinized more. I mean,
Yeah.
how many people called Devers fat and a diva every spring training? Then, I get, like, I stand with him or Marte on that. Just, I mean, those are two like really bad
They're
things
life
to
altering.
occur.
Like,
just like I mean, if you're heckling a player, at least make it creative.
Yeah, have fun with it. Like, don't. And you could say the same thing.
Like, family is no, like, just
always off limits.
Yeah.
The guy in Cleveland who was yelling at Duran that he should have gone through with it, and so, like, no, that's more than a step too far. That's come to the game and have a good time and let the other team hear it. But like, these are people. Like, I understand that they're being paid to play a game, but like, these are people. Like, it. And I mean, not to that extent. I've been guilty of probably over heckling at games before. I'm pretty loud. Yeah, we'll say two. And I like the great thing about living in Cardinals country is tickets have been dirt cheap for quite some time. And so we sit close, and I cheer real loud for the Red Sox or Xander Bogaerts when the Padres are in town. And then I boo Manny Machado, as any Red Sox faithful should do. But it's never like I've gotten some players to laugh. I've never once felt like I crossed a line with anybody. I've seen people, like, the players, like, turn around. You can tell by the look that they give them, like, let's maybe stop that. There's a guy, I guess he lives out in San Francisco. It's like polite chirps or something like that. And it's always like, you look like, I forget it's what some of them are, but it's always like these like semi-creative, like, you look like your mom still cuts up your steak, you bum. And like, he'll get the players to turn around and like laugh and stuff. Like, that's funny. And he's doing it for content, but he'll also like yell really nice things to the Giants players to the point that like you see Giants players run out into the outfield and look for him now.
Oh, that's sweet.
It's just, it's a cool thing. And sometimes the videos are ridiculous and what he's yelling is dumb, but nothing has ever crossed a line. He's not attacking somebody's deceased mother or telling them that, they should have gone through with attempting to take their own life or anything like that. It's ridiculous. It's a game. Like, I don't think that you'll meet more passionate Red Sox fans than the people who work for this website. and none of us would do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's also like I don't know. Heckling also is annoying to the fans around you. I mean, I understand you're in a public venue, but just people are trying to enjoy the game. Just
Yeah,
yeah, make it
it,
a
it and
safe,
like I said,
well,
like
not safe space, but just an
I've
accommodating space for
yeah,
everyone.
I've done it before. I'm sure I'll do it a little bit in April when the Red Sox come to St. Louis. But I like the people who are like obviously trying to get a rise. It's very main character, and it just let's all just enjoy the game, man. Like I'm gonna cheer who I'm gonna cheer for. You cheer who you cheer for. We can heckle each other in the crowd. Like I like that. That's my favorite part.
Yeah, I actually like heckling with fans. That's more fun than
Because then
heckling with players.
usually we go get a beer together and we laugh and we sit down and we just we get to I found somebody I can talk baseball with. If you're
Mhm.
passionate enough to let me have it and I'm passionate enough to let you have it, chances are we love this sport the same amount, and so we can talk baseball even though we support different teams. Um, and that's one of the greatest things about going to a baseball game is finding people like that you can have that kind of fun with. And then I've made friends at Busch Stadium that way. We're Facebook friends, and we might not talk much, but they know that if they show up to a Red Sox series, I'm going to be there too. And if they're anywhere around me, I'm going to say something. But it will be in line. It will never be out of line.
Yeah.
Kind of the last thing we've got here, and you said something about it earlier, Maddie. There's still probably a bullpen move that needs to be made. Specifically, in my opinion, you may disagree, but specifically in my opinion, a left-handed reliever is this bullpen is begging for one not named Giovanni Moran.
Yeah, I thought Kyle Harrison would be that guy, to be quite
I did
honest.
too.
Yeah, and now he's gone. So, yeah, and yeah, if you told, yeah, Jen McCaffrey said, Tolley and Early will start the season in AAA. So, I mean, you don't want to throw them in the bullpen. That's just going to screw up their development.
That I want to stay as far away from that as possible.
And are there even any like left-handed free agents left on the market?
Danny Columb. I never know how to say his name.
Yeah.
And then Justin Wilson is still available.
Did he say he was retiring?
He was flirting with it.
Okay.
But I think like from what he said, from what was reported at least, it was he would come back for a contender, which I think was him like telling the Red Sox like, hey, if you will make me a decent offer, I'll come back for another season, because Wilson was quietly a very good reliever last year.
He was dependable.
Yeah. And, is he going into his age 37 season, I think?
He's up there, close to 40.
No, he's 38. He'll turn 36 in August, or he'll turn 39 in August. So yeah, he's up there. Even in terms of pitching, he's up there. I think it'd be tough for him to recreate what he did last season, but like you said, he's dependable. I'd be fine if he came. Like I said, Danny Colombe, I don't know how to say his last name. I think it's Colombe. He would make sense. He's still a free agent. I really, and this is a trade deadline piece at this point. The Cardinals will trade Jojo Romero. He's not a lefty flamethrower by any means, but he's a dependable arm. He has closing experience. He slotted into the closer role in St. Louis when they traded Helsley to the Mets last season. The guy's got swagger. He's very loud on the mound. He's cocky. I think he's got an attitude built for Boston. I would really like, if they go into the season with this bullpen, I would really like to see them trade for Jojo Romero at some point. It makes no sense why the Cardinals have not traded him yet.
Yeah, I mean they've accepted they're in a rebuild now
It's going to be
mode.
a long rebuild, a really long rebuild.
So yeah, my cat's name is Jojo, so I like that too. But yeah, I mean, you had mentioned Orion Kirkering. He's not a lefty though.
No.
Yeah.
Um, I would love to see them trade for Ben Joyce from the Angels. He's not a lefty either, but I mean, when you can throw 105, and the Angels are crazy enough to probably trade him, even though he should be their closer.
Tennessee.
Yeah, came out of Vitello's reign there before he was hired by the Giants this offseason. Just an absolute stud of a pitcher. I think he makes a lot of sense for the Red Sox should they go through with that. If I'm not mistaken, yeah. Crochet played at Tennessee as well, so there's that connection. I don't know. It makes a lot of sense. He's not a lefty, but I think that if you throw 105, you can throw from either side, and it's fine.
Do you think the Padres would move Mason Miller?
Wasn't that rumored earlier this offseason?
Yeah.
My interest in Mason Miller is very crazy. My interest in Mason Miller is to try to convert him back into a starter.
Yeah, I'm on that boat too.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
There's at least two of us. I think if you get Mason Miller working with Andrew Bailey and you can get him now, he's not gonna be able to work with Andrew Bailey next offseason because of the lockout. But if you could get him in a full offseason program with somebody like Bailey, I think Mason Miller could be a starter for the Boston Red Sox within a couple of years. I'd be interested in that deal as a closer too, even though I think that Garrett Whitlock should be the next one to take that role over. Whitlock's contract's up at the end of next season, though.
Oh. Yeah, he was like kind of he was the first guy to sign in a long-term extension.
Yeah,
like, with time, and now look, yeah.
He was injured for 2 of the seasons.
I
So it
think his
doesn't feel like
performance-
we've gotten it. We've
Yeah.
gotten the years out of him.
I mean, if he has another good one this year, I think
I would like to see another
counts.
extension.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be opposed to that. I think just moving to the bullpen has really helped keep
I
him
agree.
healthy.
Yeah. And I think that he could take over the closer role should Chapman falter this season, which to have him repeat last year's season would be incredible, but what is also probably scientifically impossible just with the way a body ages. Hopefully Chapman doesn't get hurt. He's been relatively healthy his entire career, minus tattoo infections on his feet. That's still the weird. Like, I love tattoos. Like, I would never get my foot tattooed.
The feet are a sensitive area of the body. Just
Yeah.
why?
Yeah, I'll never forget when that came out. We were like, Chapman has an infection from a tattoo on his foot. Like,
he's one of those guys who's had a lot of weird stories in the news come out.
Yeah.
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 And just I mean, hey, at least he's not allergic to the ink and the tattoos.
Yeah. Who was that?
I almost said Bregman. Verdugo.
Yes. Verdugo. Alex, I'm gonna take BP during an earthquake. Verdugo. That's my favorite video that's come from this offseason. It's just him on that giant like tilt-a-whirl platform taking hacks to go sit the bench for Team Mexico.
Well,
I mean, Duran was there in 23. Like,
Yeah.
and then he had a career year the next year. So maybe Verdugo will have a career year during the lockout.
And in Japan.
Yeah, probably. He can go play with Bobby Dahlbeck. And Brian Mata is over there now too. But yeah, I think there needs to be one more addition to the bullpen, ideally a lefty, but if it's a solid righty, that's great. Those aren't really out there on the trade market or on the free agent market. And I would assume that Craig Breslow is done making trades for now. Although the Cardinals, Craig Breslow's preferred trade partner, did just make a deal with the Nationals like 2 hours ago.
For who?
Like, it was low-level pitching for low-level pitching.
Okay.
Nothing crazy. They traded. We have a local ESPN radio guy that was on it. My gosh, he's tweeted so much since he tweeted about that. Interesting. He took it down, so I wonder if maybe it didn't go through. No, it happened. It actually happened yesterday, but I didn't see it until earlier today. They traded Andre Granillo to the Nationals for Jorge Soriano.
Okay. I wonder. Yeah. I'd love to be a fly on the wall in the room since they both worked for the Red Sox. They would hash out
like
oh
what
my
those
God.
conversations are. Yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, I'm so glad I'm not here anymore, or just other things like spilling the tea.
I know that Heim typically makes himself not available, but he is easily like spotted around Busch Stadium. Have I told you the story of when I accidentally when my wife and I accidentally wound up in the GM's office like 2 years ago at Busch Stadium?
No.
Okay. I'll tell you that story real quick. So now I know how to get to it. We in Mike Mosalic's office. The Cardinals have 2 all-inclusive areas down third base. The UMB Champions Club, which sits like down the line, and then there is the 703 Club, which the actual seats are out in left field. But the entrance point is the same. Because to get to the seats in 703, you have to like walk through like the bar and where the food is and everything. So it's a pretty decent walk around. It's pretty large. And so we were sitting in, I think it was a UMB Champions Club, watching the Brewers game. It was right after school let out a 3 years ago. I went solely to see Devin Williams in person. Tickets were dirt cheap, less than $100 for all inclusive. So the game ends, and there's an escalator down from the second level where both of these are to the concourse. And the line to get on the escalator is a lot longer than it wasn't long, but it was like it was held up for some reason. And we look, and there's an elevator, which isn't rare in Busch Stadium because it's got 4 levels and it's ADA accessible. Like, there's an elevator. And so we ask a person who is like emptying a trash can, like, hey, can we use that elevator? And she's like, oh, absolutely, go ahead. Well, we hit the button to go down a floor, and when the elevator opens up, it has red carpet in it, which none of the other elevators I've ever been in at Busch Stadium had carpet. They're all like tile or concrete because people are spilling beer on them and dropping their nachos and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This is weird. Okay. Well, we get on the elevator, hit the down to the first floor. It opens up, and there are like a wall of signed Gibson Les Paul guitars and a wall of signed baseballs and bats in front of us.
Huh.
And I look down and there's the same red carpet is on the floor here. I look at my wife and I'm like, I don't know where we're at. Like I don't know how many times I've been in the stadium. I used to live right down the street. Like I've never been here before. And we step out and there's a wall to our left. So I'm like, well, we got to go right. And I turn and there's a sign outside a door, general manager John Mozeliak. I'm like, we're in the GM's office. We're not supposed to be here. And so I kind of like do like a look around and he's not there. It's like 9:45, 10 o'clock on a Wednesday, at the conclusion of a Cardinals Brewers game in May. Like it's not an important game for either team. And I was like, we need to get on this elevator and we need to get out of here before we get in trouble. And so we get back on the elevator and go up to the floor that we were on. And we walk out and they have that entire hallway that we walked down that we were told we could go down to get on this elevator was completely blocked off. That said like no fan, like authorized personnel only, no fans allowed. And so we have to move the barricades to get back out.
No.
So yeah, now I know where the GM's office is. So I can just go talk to him.
Hold up. So when you like went to that elevator, there wasn't like a key card or anything?
No.
Or an attendant?
No.
Huh.
Yeah.
I need to work on their security. Gosh, that's like signs don't stop a lot of people.
No.
And
if you ask, like, hey, can I take this elevator? Sure.
Maybe the stadium worker thought you guys had business with whichever Mosaic was.
Yeah, I don't know.
As the GM.
I think I was wearing a Mariners hat. Like,
oh no.
Like I didn't look the part, but like I had on my Griffey jersey. I was just like, I'm just here to enjoy baseball. But yeah, so if you ever come to Busch Stadium, I can show you where Hein Bloom's office is because I found it by accident. But when we go, and we'll go to more games this summer too, it won't just be the Red Sox series. I will kind of keep my eye out because I would like to at least be like, hey, I think I'd tell like, hey, I'm a Red Sox fan. Like, I was a fan of yours while you were in Boston, and I think you got the raw end of the deal. And I'm happy to see you here and doing something with this organization because this fan base, it's a diehard fan base, whether the team's winning or losing in St. Louis. And although I'm not a fan of the Cardinals, my entire family is. All of my friends are. And eventually I want to have them look forward to baseball season like we look forward to baseball season. Yeah, who knows? Maybe he'll trade Jojo Romero to the Red Sox at some point because Craig Breslow can only make deals with the people that he has made deals with in the past.
Well, Buster Posey was a new guy.
Yeah. Well, I guess now we can't even offer a package of Jordan Hicks and Jose Bayo and Kyle Harrison for Rafael Devers. MLB The Show would not let that trade go through. One, Jose Bayo's not on that game, so you had to find like someone else. The money would work, but yeah, like it was like this trade's not going to happen. No. Yeah.
I don't play MLB The Show. I just see the memes about it online. So that's
play too much MLB The Show.
Baseball games really aren't my cup of tea. Like MLB The Show is hard.
Yeah. I've got students who are like, oh, you need to get on and play Diamond Dynasty with me. And I'm like, I don't think you guys understand like what MLB The Show is for us 35-year-olds that have families. It's a franchise mode that we sim most of the games and get to the playoffs. And it's a road to the show where we can live out our young man fantasies of being drafted by the Red Sox and filling in whatever position they need.
Well, I mean, that's what video games are for. I mean, yeah. I prefer Assassin's Creed personally.
Oh yeah. I have not finished Shadows yet, but it's just an absolutely gorgeous game.
Yeah.
I'm a big Assassin's Creed fan.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the design is brilliant. I mean, the plots are compelling. Just yeah, and they all
Yeah.
connect with one another. Just yeah, great
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, they've done some really, really good things with that series. Are you working on anything for the site right now?
Yeah, I have a thing. I spoke with Brock about this because I wasn't sure if uh, Diamond Centric in general would accept this
Uh-huh.
pitch, but I'm building my dream baseball team with anime characters.
Okay. I like that.
Do you have anything coming up?
I am working on a profile of Ryan Watson
Ooh, that'll be
because I think
fun.
after the Hicks trade, it is far more likely that he ends up sticking with the Red Sox on the major league roster now. And although he's not he's not a flamethrower like Hicks was, but he's got some life on his fastball, and I think that he makes a very good Hicks replacement. And I think we would all rather see Ryan Watson throw than Jordan Hicks after what we saw last season. So
Yeah, that's exciting and looking forward to it. I think he could be like a Justin Slayton 2.0.
I think so. Yeah. And that's kind of the angle I've taken with it so far. I'm hoping to finish it up tomorrow, and get it submitted in time for the weekend. So, yeah, be on the lookout for those two. I think the plan is to record next week
Yeah,
another episode. I don't want to tip our hand or
yeah.
make promises that we can't keep, but I will tell you this: we have been reaching out to and talking to some very interesting guests who are actively wanting to come on the podcast after the Cotillo episode. So stay tuned for that. And then yeah, hopefully next week we'll be right back here with one of those guests.
So yeah, just I lost my train of thought. Yeah, stay tuned for next week.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a fun episode. So once again, thanks for listening. Thanks for reading. Like, comment, subscribe, all the things that we're supposed to say here at the end of a podcast or a YouTube video that my kids are obsessed with now. I hear that all the time in their toy unwrapping videos. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
Leave
Yeah,
a
do all
5-star
those
review.
things. Yeah, 5-star review. That'd be great. Help us. I don't know if we're on a chart, so help us get on a chart. We'd love that. And then eventually maybe get some sponsors because of that. But thanks for listening, and we will see you guys hopefully next week.